here's another reason why you want to take control of what you're doing.
Everything kind of funnels into the only winning move is not to play the game.
I don't know, guys. This whole thing sounds pre-recorded.
Well, good evening and welcome back to another edition of the Weathered Report, because we've been gone for what, a week or so? Maybe it's a week or so. We missed it because we've been so damn busy with our private lives, and I had a flood last week, and Ken had a storm a couple weeks ago, and he's still picking up pieces there. But hey, we're back, and we're going to do another show today, and hopefully another show next week, and we don't get too busy to not forget about you guys. But we welcome you back to another edition of the Weather Report, and we have a very special guest today. Andy Lindloff of the Woodland Creek Candles is here. Hi, Andy. How you doing?
Hi. Good, thank you.
And he's given us gracious amounts of time for us to interview him tonight. And he has a business that he started with his daughter. And what's your daughter's name? I'm sorry,
Molly.
Molly and Andy have it's a daughter. It's a father-daughter
duo. Yes,
cool, which is absolutely cool. And we just want to welcome here. Thank you, Andy, for coming on.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Andy, I'll give you guys got a little synopsis. The place that I work with Andy's brother, and who is a product designer extraordinaire and a woodworker, like unbelievably good woodworker and cabinet maker that he'll never tell you how good he is. He's really humble about it. But I met Andy through through Chris that I work with, and it's pretty cool. He's got an interesting life, and one of the things we want to talk about here is just the way that even though you have a full-time gig, a family, with taking the kids to different games and doing the different things that you do with kids, that you can also start something with them and have it really take off. Pretty interesting story. Yeah. So let's start out with what your day gig is. I mean, first, he's in New Richmond, Wisconsin, so it's not too far from me, about 10 miles northwest of us. Yeah, so tell us a little bit what you do for a living, because this is interesting.
So I am a retail pharmacist. I'm a community pharmacist in my community. I've been a pharmacist. I graduated in 2006. I was a pharmacy technician before that. So I've got over 20 years experience in pharmacy, working with people in my community. I've been in the pharmacy that I am at right now for about 12 years. And it's all I've known is went to school for sciences and went into pharmacy to work in healthcare, help people in the community. I think I know a lot about medications, and one of my loves of pharmacy is compounding and making things, and so that's kind of where some of this other stuff sparks from. But that's where I'm at. That's my day job, 40 plus hours a week. I'm actually a pharmacy manager, so I keep very busy.
Yeah, no, very busy. And, going from, I suppose from a chemistry standpoint, going from, being a pharmacist to creating candles and some of the other things you create we'll go into, it's not that far of a leap, but it really, in a way it is. You're like, oh, I'm a pharmacist, but I also sell candles. This is kind of a strange thing to get started. So how did this get started, the Woodland Creek idea?
So working in healthcare, for anyone in healthcare, whether you're a nurse, a physician, a pharmacist, in America is a very stressful job. It is a lot of navigating insurance companies, helping people kind of get what they need when they have a tough time figuring it out. So healthcare is very stressful, and I was looking for something else. Not something else, but something more. And working in my community is great. I love my job. I love the people I work with. I love the people that I work for, in the community, I mean. And so it was actually years ago that I went back for my MBA. So I actually have my master's in business on top of my doctorate in pharmacy. And my thought at the time was, hey, I'm going to go into healthcare administration or use that MBA to kind of go into something with healthcare. Little did I know that what I would really want to do is kind of do something creative and maybe even start my own business. So I did.
Oh, that's great. And so how did the candle thing and starting it with your daughter, that was a big part of it. I mean, right when you first got started, I started seeing you pop up at the local shows and the
Yep.
local, craft shows with a few candles. That's pretty much what started it.
Yeah.
And the candles, they come, I mean, they're beautifully packaged. You can woodcreekcandles.com. That's his website. And it's, I'd recommend you go there. It's really, really intuitive site. You can order right there from there too.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular one is Fruit Loops, and I'm going to open it and smell it because I got to show you this.
Initiate smell-o-vision.
It's exact. I'm 9 years old again.
It's like opening a fresh box of Fruit Loops.
And the Fruit Loops are in there, and we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, but I haven't lit this because it's too good looking. So these aren't actual Fruit Loops that are covered in wax, as you were explaining to me. What is this?
Those are that's Molly is behind the creation of the Fruit Loops design. So those are wax rings. So we actually have silicone molds that we will we'll mix up batches of each color, and with the fragrance as well, and we'll pour those. We'll let them cool, harden, pop them out, and then it's a whole nother process of adding those Fruit Loops to the top.
It's really neat, but you've taken kind of to the next level on a lot of these candles. I've got is it the Bahama? You gave me one. It's in
Bahama Mama. I think you have.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Does your wife like the pumpkin mallow?
The pumpkin, we haven't lit it yet because it's not fall. It's not fall. So we
had that special request for the pumpkin marshmallow candle.
Yes,
I came through with
awesome.
that.
Yeah, we haven't lit it yet. That we're waiting for the September. The autumn leaves start coming in, then we're gonna fire that up.
Yeah.
Some of the names on these are just really wild. I just love the site. I came onto the site and I was just going like, okay, well, let's check out the site. And I'm just like, I love this site. And it's very well done. I got one question for you. So you wanted to start this business up with candles, and being a pharmacist and everything, you just had a creative mind because you're always mixing stuff together. How did the daughter get involved, and what was the process? Did she just come along board? Was she part of the process of pushing you forward, or was she?
Molly and I do so many things together. We are like peas and carrots. I mean, we go on adventures together. We just actually got home from the 4-day music festival, Lollapalooza in Chicago. We've gone on other adventures out to Los Angeles and Detroit, Michigan for concerts. So we spend a lot of time together, having a lot of fun with father and daughter time. So back, let's see, 2.5 years ago, really the beginning of 2023, was when I was kind of thinking, hey, I want to do something. Let's do something creative. What should we do? I don't remember if we really discussed much about what options they would be. Someday I'd like to learn how to make soap. So I'd like to, explore the idea of making bar soap, that thing as well. But candles seemed a little more within my grasp as far as I can formulate them. I can use my knowledge as a pharmacist. And then Molly kind of stepped in too, to just be kind of one of my creative companions in figuring out what we would do. She helped with the name of the company. She helped kind of with the color scheme. So we have more of a pink color scheme on our website. And she's been just a great partner in helping us figure out where we're going to go. And she's actually done some great social media stuff. We can talk about maybe some TikTok influencers that she's helped us kind of grow our a company through TikTok. So yeah, she's been awesome. She's the best.
Yeah, I think what strikes me the most is that you can almost smell the candles through your website. I mean, because the names are so descriptive. I got this one up right now. I'll show the audience and you at the same time. It's called Beach Bum. So I'm sitting there and I'm going like, okay, what would this smell like? And I'm going like, okay, well, I know the beach and I know what the beach smells like. So I'm assuming that it has something to do with an ocean type of fragrance. But I don't know about the bum part, but you can tell us about the bum part. if you want to. But yeah, it just sounds interesting. And most of your candles are along that line. So I love the idea of it. I just love the whole site right now. I mean, I'm really fascinated with the
It's a
site.
neat. We've got a question. Boomer Bomb had a question. I'm going to show this up here. This is actually a question I've heard a few times, and maybe you've got an answer for it. Boomer asks, "I like candles, but being a house painter, I'm overly conscious of the soot. Is there an art to making lower soot candles?"
Keep your wick trimmed. It's as simple as keeping your wick trimmed, and I try to educate people on that when I sell them their candles. We give out a candle card that has a nice description of how to care for your candle. We often give away wick trimmers, which are kind of an angled scissor. So it's 99% of the time when you see that black smoke and things happening from a candle, it's either because the wick is too big for the candle, or it's because there is too much wick. So keeping it nice and short will actually reduce soot, extend the life of the candle. It'll just make the experience that much better. And you go to a big box store and you buy a candle, and I mean, you go down the candle aisle of a big box store and it is overwhelming because they pile in the fragrance oils, and it's a lot of synthetics and things like that. And our candles are a soy blend, so it's
I was going to
so
ask
there is
that.
some
Why soy?
there is some paraffin in our candles. The popularity of doing a apricot wax or just a pure soy is really a thing out there. I appreciate that, but I also want people to enjoy what they're purchasing. So we use a soy blend. We do it in an appropriate amounts. I actually posted a blog on our website that talks about the use of paraffin in candles and how it's not a bad thing. But keeping the wick trim is the most important thing. And then people shouldn't have issues with the black smoke and the soot and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. In fact, when you had given me a set, when we bought some candles from you, had given me one of the wick trimmers, and I use that religiously now. And I'm like, it makes a big difference. And I didn't realize what a big difference that made. So seeing those before, I'm like, this is just a gimmick. And I'm like, I tried it. I'm like, oh no, look at this. It doesn't, it's not this black soot anymore.
I'll be lazy and I won't trim the wick myself. Like kind of like in pharmacy, I'm my own worst patient. I won't trim the wick, and then I go, oh, that's why we tell people to keep their wicks trimmed, and because I can see what it does. So it's kind of nice to be able to see things from all perspectives and to be able to speak to what I make and how it can be made better.
And you do more than candles. And, I recommend everyone go to Woodland Creek Candle. I got another screen up here. I have the website up and big so I can see it. But you've moved into some other product lines too, which are just as fascinating. And so, we spoke before the show, and I commented to Andy, I like his set there is really cool. Well, those are the actual oils that he uses for scents and different things.
Yep.
So let's look at some of the other products you have and tell us a little bit about the soy wax melts. What are these for?
So Molly and I started with candles and wax melts, and the wax melts are actually 100% soy, using the same fragrance oils, but soy wax melts. Some people kind of call them Scentsy. Scentsy is a big brand name product that you'll see at like vendor shows and things like that. But the idea there is that if somebody does not want to burn a candle in their home, or if they have an apartment building or dorm room or something like that, wax melters are now generally plug-in devices that you can just plug into your wall, plug into an outlet, and then you actually break off a piece of that wax and it melts in the melter, and then it gives off the fragrance. And so you can experience all of the benefits of a candle without risk of fire, without risk of soot or anything like that. And so most of the candles that we make, we also make in a wax melt. And
that's good. And you got Fruit Loops wax melts. I'm gonna have to get Fruit Loops. I have a wax melter, so I didn't know you made these until right now. So this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that dark roast there. Oh, the butt naked. There we go. We like the butt naked.
Roasted pine cone. I mean, these are
Boomer Bob would like the butt naked one. So
yeah, I bet.
Yeah. At one point, we started in our dining room. So Molly and I started in the dining room, and very quickly realized that is not going to work. Unless we never want to have a meal in the dining room again. We quickly moved down into our basement. We have a big finished basement that also has my middle child Aiden's bedroom, and he gets his bedroom and we get the rest of the basement. So we've quickly taken it over. Our candle and wax melt line has gone upwards of about 100 different fragrances, which
Wow.
is pure insanity. And we're in the process of trying to rein that in. So you're scrolling through and seeing so many things, and I love all of them, but I need to not make all of them.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so we're trying to rein it into maybe like 25 or 30, and then maybe another 5 to 10 seasonal. So if we can cut our fragrance line in half, that'll be our goal, because it is almost impossible to keep up. And I'm working all day and then coming home and working all night.
Yeah.
So it's a lot
I
of fun.
understand that.
It's
Yeah.
no stress. I mean, it's actually a nice stress reliever after a long day. So
Well, and also the way that you guys have marketed this, like you said, you had your daughter doing a lot of the social media. You've done some hilarious. Guys, go to the
we're on
Facebook page and the
Facebook,
TikTok page.
Instagram, a little bit on TikTok.
Some of
I'm
Andy's
horrible
posts have
at
been
TikTok, so Molly's been doing some of the TikTok.
they're funny.
She rolls her eyes when I try to post things that are that if I think it's funny, then she thinks I'm old. So
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. They all think we're old. So
Yeah.
we are old, but
So I
I'm
recommend just go and just watch some of it, because it's pretty entertaining, a lot of what you do on there. But that's only just a part of how you actually got the word out for it. And a lot of it was, doing craft shows and local, just starting local. One of the things I'd like to talk about is if you're starting out something, especially if you're making something by hand and it's handcrafted, an artisan kind of product. This is why I do my artwork. It's handmade. It's not AI. It's not bought and then resold. It's not a reseller. And I find dealing with people person to person, when you have the product right there in front of them, you can show them and talk to them, that you can get to know, like, and trust a person. Then you're going to be more willing to buy from them. And also that builds your network of more people, than, their friends will start buying from you and whatnot. So tell us a little bit about how you got into maybe like your first store, or some of
Sure.
the shows that you've done, the craft show kind of thing, and how
Yeah.
that helped.
Well, like, I appreciate Bruce saying you can look at the website and you can almost smell like what those, based on the descriptions and the names of the candles, you can almost smell what they're going to smell like, but you can't. So in order to actually successfully sell something that smells, you got to get out there. And we have been lucky enough to get massive support from our community. We live really close to the 45th Parallel Distillery, and they do a summer market and a winter market. And I'm trying to remember exactly how we got in there. I scour Facebook, for example, looking for vendor markets and trying to sign up for what I can. And, candles are not unique or new, and there are other companies that make similar products. I mean, mine's the best, but we reached out. So that was one of our first vendor markets, was at the 45th Parallel Distillery.
Mhm.
And Aaron with the 45th Parallel, he does the markets there, he manages those, and he was kind enough to bring us in. And his friend Jen, who does dog and cat treats, she's been a huge supporter as well, helping kind of point out where there might be some new markets, some new retail locations. There was one of our first stores in New Richmond was a store called Covet. And unfortunately, Covet's no longer in business, as brick and mortar boutiques are incredibly difficult to keep in business. Especially, they're in a seasonal, they're heavier in the holidays and seasonal times, so it's hard to keep them in business. But that's where we were first, and then it's literally me going and visiting places, meeting people, reaching out via social media. I do a lot of that, a lot of email, a lot of Facebook Messenger. And our other big one was a place in Hudson, Wisconsin, so not too far from us. And again, that business went out of business. But it helps me develop a lot of relationships. And Brittany, the owner of that business in Hudson, she actually is making the shirts for us. So we've kind of partnered with a lot of other makers. And what I find works best in growing one's own business is by partnering with those around you. So I've got a huge list of vendor friends that I've made over the last couple of years. You can with your artwork. A quick shout out to Gary and Shelly with 1788 Seasonings. My friend Brian makes maple syrup. My friend Jen does dog and cat treats. Misty makes honey. Brittany does the shirts. I have like another armload of people that support me in the community. I've worked with other candle makers in ways that why not? There's a wood wick. So there's ours that are more traditional cotton wick, but there's a candle company up in Superior, Wisconsin that will like and share and do a lot of social media buzz together. And her candles are wood wick, so they're that crackling wick.
Yeah.
And I figure, why not support? If somebody's looking for that candle, why not direct them that way? And if somebody's looking for candles like me, then she can direct them my way. So
you bring up a good point about just the networking part of it. So even if you're working with somebody that has a store and they get your product in the store goes out of business. That's the store that goes out of business. The person doesn't.
Right.
And most people that have those stores might have had one or two before that didn't work, and it might be the fifth try that makes it work. But if you're the one that's stuck with them, you know, as long as it makes financial sense to do. I mean, obviously there's some people out there that just, you know, run it poorly and you don't want to work with them again. But these kind of stores, like you talked about the 45th Parallel, it was a place that opened up not all that long ago. And it hit the distillery craze, and they figured out, hey, if we have a place that also has some food and fun atmosphere, and we can do a craft show. I've been trying to get in that craft show for a year and a half, and it's full because everyone wants to be there because it's really good. So there's a waiting list to get on there. I'm on the waiting list. I'll get in eventually, but I go to it, and so the different craftspeople that you work with there, you know, I always like doing craft shows in the once you're set up, when everyone's set up, you have that kind of 15-20 minute window where you start talking to people. Yes. And I make more deals there at that time with the other crafters than you do throughout the whole show a lot of times.
Yep.
And you know, that's how you find out, oh, I'm in this store over in Menominee, Wisconsin, it's doing real well, or I'm over here at this one, or this one didn't do too good for me, but I think it's the right spot for you. And you hear those things, and it's just it's a network of people, and you've built this really on that, backing it up with social media. But also, you know, like you said, you use the social media to find the events and the places. Then you physically go there and talk to the people. And when you hold one of his candles, I mean, they're beautifully packaged. They smell great, and very they seem very, very professional. So you'd never know that was made in a guy's basement.
Exactly.
And that's important because, you know, hey, Henry Ford made his
I updated the label.
Yes, you did. Look at that. That's the old label. You got the new one.
But yeah, it's still pretty.
Yes, gorgeous.
A question comes to mind for me because a lot of our listeners are entrepreneurs, and some of them are trying to be entrepreneurs and coming up with good ideas and wanting to go forward with starting a small business or anything like this. But the thing is that you mentioned that you're a pharmacist full time, 40 plus hours a week. So how much more time does it take to run this candle business on top of that? I mean, we're talking, you know, we're putting in what, 80 hours a week, maybe even more a week. I mean, sometimes I mean, you're 24/7 pretty much. Sometimes, I mean, you got to find time to sleep, got to find time for, you know, everything else that involves life. But also it takes a lot of time to do something like this, and a dedication. Can you kind of make comments on that?
Yeah, so my typical work day, I'm lucky enough, my partner pharmacist I work with does a lot of the evening shifts, so I get to a lot of the day shifts done with work by about 4 o'clock, get home, kind of get stuff situated with making sure I know where the kids are, and I do a lot of the cooking, so I try to make sure that there's going to be some food, whether it's a home cooked meal or we're getting takeout. Sometimes it's been more takeout than home cooked. But getting that all figured out, and then kind of get into a groove where I have these like big wax melter things that, you know, can hold 20 or 30 pounds of wax at a time. And I get those going. And I multitask, and I just do lots of different things at once. So that I can get to a point where when I started, we were making like 6 or 9 candles in the evening, maybe some wax melts. We started doing room sprays, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And now, honestly, if I'm productive and I can make it work, I can put 3 hours in an evening and crank out 60 to 70 candles. And I might be able to pull up and do a little social media. I create all of my own labels. We print all. We've just everything we've made, like as far as money goes, has gone right back into the company. So we have not. We've not.
Which is another point. Which is another point. Yeah.
So I have to have a successful full-time career in order to make it work the way it's working. I've often considered, would I be successful? Would we have a successful, viable business that could support us if I wasn't doing that? Because in theory, I could put another 40 hours a week or more in to the candle company. And what would that mean financially? And there are a lot of entrepreneurs that want to do that. It's usually not a viable, in my opinion, it's not a viable option those first 3 to 5 years, unless you do go all in. But the investment we made was very small financially, and we just keep putting what we make back into it. Upgrade equipment. I started with an inkjet printer. Now we have a color laser printer. We've improved our label design, and I've done all of it just with trial and error, which a lot of people might suggest is crazy, and outsourcing some of that stuff might make sense, but I like to maintain control, so I just do it.
Well, and the other thing is you have to know how to do all of the aspects of it, so that you know when you do hire out what you need to have done, that you know what they're doing, and you know, it's a lot easier to manage that way. You talk about the collaborations. You know, Bruce and I have done collaborations. That's actually Bruce and I were in a marketing mastermind group, and we just met each other through that. And he found out that not only was an artist but as a designer, so I did the graphic, I did the logos and stuff for Bruce, and that turned into doing paintings of all your dogs and all kinds of stuff.
One coming out. So.
Yeah, we got another one coming out here this fall. But these things, and now you and I are going to do some stuff together. We haven't figured out what yet, but we're like, we have there's some synergy here. We got to figure out what we can do. I've got some tiki products I like, because obviously here I am in my tiki bar. And some of the candle scents that he have is so great. So we're talking about doing some graphics for the candles, to do some special tiki ones that I can then bring to Tiki Oasis for sale as, you know, Woodland Creek candles, you know, Mad Case Studio special edition, you know, limited edition, that kind of thing. But we have those conversations, and it, you know, we'll figure out something. But, you know, a lot of these things, they come to life, you know, and you can expand that way. And that's the expansion of what you're doing. Again, we talked about the wax. You have some other things. You have lip balm and some other things. So tell us a little bit about the other products.
Yeah, so our like on the screen right now, the scented foaming hand soap. So that is just your kind of traditional like a foam soap, but the fragrance oils that we get are actually from a company relatively local in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, and they are compatible with making a lot of things. So they are tested and safe in making candles, wax melts, room sprays, body sprays or body mists that we've done a little bit with. The scented foaming hand soap is one of our newest things, where we have, you know, monkey farts hand soap, so it smells like bananas and bubble gum and things like that, so kids love it. So we've done some of that. The lip balms, that's the lip balms I really love, because it is another really something that sparked out of being a pharmacist. So they are natural. They are cocoa butter, shea butter, jojoba oil, grapeseed oil, and fragrant, or not fragrance, but flavor. And lip balms, that's one of our biggest sellers nationwide. So coast to coast, those 50 plus stores that we're in, I would say almost all of them carry lip balms. And we've done custom labeling, and I had this fantastic online review. Quick little story about it. So we are in a store. So we sell online, and somebody bought online from Chicago. So she bought some stuff. We sent it off to Chicago. She reordered and ordered some more stuff. I think candles, lip balms, that sort of thing. And then the third time she ordered again, and I'm like, where did this person find us? Because while I'm trying to learn SEO and analytics and all these kind of things, so I can make sure that our we're coming up on Google and doing all those important online things, I didn't get where she found us. And then she did an online review, because I do have it built so that they get emails asking for reviews, because that makes all the difference when people can speak to what they purchased. She left an online review, and she said that she was visiting friends in Minneapolis, and she stopped in at a store and picked up a lip balm that was just happened to be right at the register. And she used it, fell in love with it. She compared it to, and I don't remember the bougie name that she compared it to, but I looked it up, and it was an $18 lip balm.
Wow.
Mine are $3. And I looked at that website's ingredient list for their lip balm, and it matches basically the same ingredients. I'm sure different proportions, but I was like, that's pretty impressive. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. And then I was like, I'm only in one store in Minneapolis. It's a store called I Like You. They have a sister store in St. Paul called I Like You Too. And they do a fantastic job of selling our products. And I found out through that online review that she purchased a lip balm, and that sparked 3 online orders. She's told all her friends. She left an online review. It's stuff like that just is amazing. And I love to be able to kind of make things that people really like. The Bow Wow Paw Balm.
I'm a dog guy.
I made a big batch of this today, so this. Fully stocked.
When I get off of this interview,
there we go.
I'm going to be ordering some of this.
So I've made some like lavender hand balms and some things like that, because again, a very pharmaceutical kind of a thing is to formulate something that works well, that's compatible with the skin, that's non-irritating. And my good friend Jen, who makes dog and cat treats, I was like, I think that we should make something like paw balm, because when you take your dog for a walk, especially in the Midwest here in the winter, and there's salt on the roads and things like that, it's really hard on the paws. So we made something that would be safe for them, and if they lick it off or anything like that, it doesn't have any additional like fragrances or anything weird. So completely good to put on their ears, their paws, their snout. That's a picture of our dog Lucky on that picture right there. And to be fully honest, he drives me insane. He loves my wife Melissa and my oldest Andrew, and he basically just gets me up in the night to let him out. And otherwise he doesn't have the time of day for me. But I do want to make sure that he's taken well care of. So I like the fact that I made something that is. It's kind of fun and safe. I tell people too that after they apply it to their dog's paws, they can just rub it into their own hands, and it's a great moisturizer. So,
well, this is just another example of, taking the skill set that a person has and using it in ways that would have, I can't imagine when you're in school concocting up concoctions, learning how to do, pharmaceutical stuff. You thought, I'll probably end up making stuff for dog paws later on, but it comes out, and what a great idea. I mean, it's something I would not have even thought of. I wouldn't even consider that to be a thing, but yeah, the salt and all this stuff. I remember our dog, when we take her for a walk, you come back and the paws are always, white with salt and dried out.
Yeah.
And to have something like this would have been great.
Yeah, we have people out here that love to walk their dogs in the heat wave. So, I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot
hot
of
sand. I mean, hot sand, that's the hell out of dogs. Just get them
like,
that water.
really?
Yeah. So whether it's burnt paws or
my wife hates
paws
that. My wife
or
hates
whatever.
She screams at them.
Oh,
and then you take the burnt paws and they're hot, so they go. What do? They run into the ocean and they put salt and dry out the burnt paws.
There you go.
You're gonna do good on these, Bruce. You better order a case.
I better order a case. I better order a
Become a
case.
dealer. To go back to lip balm for a minute, of course, in the Midwest, it gets super, super dry. It's like the cold desert. In the wintertime, in the summertime, I don't really use it much, but we go and visit Arizona, man, everything dries out completely. So the lip balm down there, again, that would be a good thing to have at the Tiki Oasis next year if we're going to sell too. So we're going to have to put that on the list of things I need to get from you and introduce the Scottsdale area to Woodland Creek.
Yes.
Absolutely. So you do it in a few different ways. It looks like you have the stick of the lip balm. Do you also have like is it all in stick form, or do you have like
when we started making lip balms, I made tins.
Yep.
Like a ½ ounce, 1 ounce, and then the sticks. And the tins are much larger, so then they have a little larger price point.
right?
Which if people are buying them, that's great. And in all honesty, whether it's a stick or a tin, people tend to lose their lip balms. So then they've got to come back and buy more. It got to the point though, where it was because I make so many different ones and we just wanted to kind of streamline it down. They're actually all in the stick form right now. So I do not make any tins, but we started that way. So we've done a lot of different things with making different size products, making different formulations, and figuring out what works. And the little lip balm sticks are kind of our current bestseller with that.
Now this cold sore lip balm sounds like it would be a really popular one. So this has a pharmaceutical
that is a step up from your typical lip balm. So that one does have some extra ingredients in order to help reduce or eliminate cold sores. That has not been tested by the FDA, so it cannot treat or cure any diseases. All of those fine print things that I must say. But it does support healthy. It has like lysine, lemon balm, tea tree oil, clove oil, vitamin E, all things that are really good for maintaining healthy lips. Somebody that's more prone to developing cold sores, they have reported back to me, a lot of people actually, that it does a great job at helping stave them off so they're not as bad or not as frequent, or they heal faster. So
awesome.
Yeah. So there's a little pharmacy in what we do.
I love that.
So how your decision making process is pretty interesting on how do you decide what you're going to make, or do you think about it, or does things just kind of drift as, hey, as long as this is really close to like making a candle, I'd imagine is very similar to making lip balm in just the materials involved. It's a wax, some kind of wax with some sort of texture or flavor or smell, scent in it. Yep. So that's probably very similar to. So
processes are very similar.
Do you sit with your daughter and kind of figure out, well, what if we did this, or what if we did that around the dinner table, or the rest of the family, and say, hey,
a little bit of that. We're at vendor shows or when we're at stores. So there was a store in Baldwin. Speaking of where you are, Paisley Cow in Baldwin insisted that I make them some like lotion sticks. So we do have a lotion stick for your body that's also in stick form, but it's much larger. And they had they were telling me is that years ago they had somebody that brought them in, was selling them. They were very successful. And then for whatever reason, I think the person moved away or something and they were gone. And since then they didn't have anything like it. And I was making candles and lip balms for them. And they were like, can you make lotion sticks? And up until then I was like, I don't know. I suppose I can make lotion sticks. I never really thought about it. Same principle applies to lip balms. It's really a lip balm for your whole body. Sure. So we call it a body butter lotion stick because it contains a blend of butters. So shea butter, mango butter, cocoa butter, and jojoba oil. And interestingly enough, a little science, jojoba oil is not really an oil, it's a butter. So
Ah.
they're all butters. I really wanted my products. I have this vision for this product, and someday I will figure it out. But I want a square stick,
Mm-hmm.
and if you can imagine the shape of a stick of butter,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
then it would
Yeah.
be it would be a literal body butter lotion stick.
Oh, I love it.
And I don't know if that's just goofy, but I think that would be a shtick that would be like a marketing thing that would really,
You
I
should
think it
call
would
it.
take off.
And you should call it body butter shtick.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Boomer Bob.
let me get my stick of body butter out and literally have it be with the markings and everything.
Boomer Bob has a question. He's on YouTube watching this. He goes, I need a mosquito bite stick right now. I got eaten up cleaning the coils on my air conditioning outside.
Oh no.
What about doing something like that? Is that something that you would consider? Maybe it's in the works and it's secret.
On the floor behind me, I have a big old tub of aloe, and I have played around with making aloe-based products for sunburn and for bug bites.
Mm-hmm.
We have not come out with anything yet because we have so many products. You just had one up though. This might have helped prevent some of those bug bites. We came out with Hatchet. And what did I come up with that name for? So it's a skin safe body spray, and I was thinking of my youth and how, remember when Axe body spray was a big thing, and it still
Oh
kind of
yeah.
is. Like people were just like spraying Axe body spray all over themselves and stuff. I never did that. I wasn't popular enough to have Axe body spray. But I was like, Axe body spray. What can I come up with? Hatchet. I'm going to call it Hatchet.
Yeah.
Hatchet Citronella Outdoor Body Spray. And basically what it is a skin safe spray that contains a citronella oil. But
Okay.
then we also utilize some of our other oils that we use in candle making and everything else. So like, for example, this one's lemon unhinged. So it's kind of got an edgy like lemon scent to it. All of them have some citronella behind them, which the idea is to kind of repel bugs and that sort of thing. Again, I can't call it a bug spray because it's not been tested. And there's a lot of crazy testing involved with some of this stuff, and FDA approvals and all that kind of stuff. So it is a bug deterrent, and I think it works pretty well. I've got some farmers that use it, and they think it's great. It's DEET free, so if somebody's really trying to avoid some of those harmful chemicals on their skin, it's a good alternative to that. And yeah, maybe that would have helped if he would have had that first. But
That's cool. I love your product line. We got one more thing that I want to show everybody too, and that is these Muddy Mouth cards. Where did the Muddy Mouth cards come from?
Yes, so that's a collaboration. So Muddy Mouth and Dayspring Farm soaps are both on our website. So I was literally just kind of scrolling through social media. Muddy Mouth Cards is out of Minnesota. It's a mom that got the idea of making slightly, as it says right there, slightly edgy, dirty cards. So they're greeting cards that they're a little more salty. I remember these. Ken, do you ever remember going into like your local liquor store and seeing a card rack? You ever? Yes. So that was a thing when I was a kid. We would go to and I don't know if it's like that out in California or not. Everything's a little salty and fun out in California, but they kept some of that hidden in the liquor stores, if I remember right. So my parents, we would go and stop at the local liquor store, and they'd have these like dirty greeting cards. Well, This is kind of an in between where they're not all dirty, of course. They're a little more family friendly, but funny things like this, like congrats on the new home, especially in this economy. And so I came across them, and I was like, you know what? I would love to also sell some other things that local makers make. And when I can sell their products, they can help market my products. If somebody goes online and wants to, that card is a perfect example of a candle is a great gift for somebody that purchases a new home. Well, if you can get the candle and the card at the same time, then you've got a gift. And we just introduced those recently. Just posted them on the website not long ago. And what I would like to do, especially as we get closer to the holiday season, is offer some options where people can go online, they can buy a candle, they can buy a card, they can buy a bundle of things, and then they can maybe have a ship to address be different, and I can actually just get it sent off as the gift. Probably offer some like low cost or free wrapping or something like that. Um, and yeah, so it's really kind of exciting.
It's a great idea because once you have them in your website, to make it so they don't have to go out to, well, I get we can get a card here too, and get this on the candle. Oh, and lip balm's only $3. Well, let's throw one of those in too and make a whole package out of it.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. There's another thing too, and I meant to bring this up earlier and I didn't, but you're also an author.
A little bit.
A little bit of an author. So tell us a little bit about your book. I was trying to find it here.
Well, it's on Amazon. So that's the only thing that I sell on Amazon, because I like to sell locally if I can. So I'm a dad. So I have 3 kids. I have Molly, 14, Aiden, 16, Andrew, 18, almost 19. And so I'm a dad. So dad jokes are in my blood. I need to have an arsenal of dad jokes at any given point. And I've literally just kept track of as many of them as I could. So for multiple years, I would just I started a database and I just kept track of my dad jokes. I don't truly believe I wrote a single one of them. I've tweaked a few to my own liking. But then finally I just put them in a book. So it's
and what's the name of that book?
It is, I got one. Oh, just a second. I'll show you.
Yeah, absolutely. I had meant to mention this earlier, and I don't mean to just drop this on you, but I was like, you know what? I love this.
The really, really good book of bad dad jokes.
Yes.
By Andy Lindloff. So it's literally, it's a compilation book. So I'm not the author. I am the compiler of jokes, because I don't truly believe that any dad joke belongs to any one particular dad. They're for everybody. So I put those together. Amazon's got a pretty slick publishing option where I could literally post it to them, list it on their website. They're published on demand. So I make next to no money because Amazon keeps almost
a lot.
Yeah. Which is why, ideally people don't sell on Amazon, because it's, that's not where you're going to make the money. But you can get your name out there, which is pretty cool. So the other thing is that I was able to have them publish the books, and I can actually get author copies. So there are a couple boutiques that we sell our candles, and I also have books. So it's been kind of one of those things. Once I'm successful in a store, I might kind of slip a book their way and go, well, what do you think about selling this book? And I'll get a bunch of author copies for a better price. I'll get a little bit of cut that way. And then we put them in the store. And what prompted me to actually put this out there and sell them is on the back cover, I've got a picture. I know, Ken, you love cars. You guys are all car lovers, but I have this little Mini Cooper, that's on the back there. So I bought, it's been almost 3 years ago now. So it was before the candle company started, before the candle business. I went out and bought myself a Mini Cooper, and it's just been a dream car of mine to own a Mini Cooper. And when you have 3 kids, you generally don't have Mini Coopers because they don't have a lot of space.
Nope.
But we got to the point where I rarely need to have the whole family in my vehicle, and we have other vehicles that we can travel in. So mine is a blue Mini Cooper. It's actually fully electric, which I love. And in a little bit in hindsight, had I known we were going to launch a candle company and travel all over and to go to vendor shows and stuff, I probably would have gone with a larger vehicle. But dang, it's amazing how much stuff you can fit in a Mini Cooper. So those shows that you might have seen me at, Ken, I fit all my pop-up tent, my tables,
everything in there. Yeah.
Everything gets put in that Mini Cooper, and it's amazing how much space that is. The idea was, let me put a book out and make enough money to pay for my Mini Cooper. Not even close. Not even close.
And then you bought an electric one, which isn't cheaper.
Right. Exactly. No, it's not. Cheaper to operate, but that's about it.
Cheaper to operate, but that's about it. No, that is pretty cool. I just had to mention that too, because you have other, you're like the rest of us, where we're like, hey, squirrel, I can do that. Let's try that. And that kind of thing. I just yesterday or Friday bought the opposite of a Mini Cooper electric. I bought a 76 Oldsmobile Delta 88
Nice.
off of a at a gas station on a for sale sign stuck in the window.
Oh gosh.
And that's going to be my daily driver now. So we're go to Op Delta K is going to be my I started a site years ago of driving old cars, and just this is what it's like to drive an old car daily. And I'm going back to old cars again. I'm done with screens and buttons and things that break.
Right.
And so I'm going all. I don't have no problem with it, but I was like, yeah, let's try this again.
Yeah.
It worked for 100 years. Let's give it a shot.
No. Well, and if you know how to tinker with it and fix it, that's priceless. That
because you're gonna tinker and fix because they do break often.
No. Very cool.
So it's been good. And this has been great. If someone wants to order something, can they just go to your website and order it? And
yes,
full retail site.
We do. Yep. So right on the website, we just do a flat $8 shipping. We don't do any sort of sliding scale with that. So whether you're out in California or just down the street in Baldwin, actually there is an option for free local pickup. So hey, Bruce, come on out to Wisconsin. You don't have to pay shipping if you come out. But otherwise, people can select the free local pickup. And funny enough, most people that do that just end up picking it up at the pharmacy where I'm working, because it just works out quite well. I've had incredible support by the community and people that come in. Pharmacy customers are now also candle customers. I probably created a few pharmacy customers after meeting people at candle events, letting them know what I actually do as a day job. But yeah, we ship nationwide. We have also, thanks to Molly, honestly, Molly has, I wanted to quickly mention that she did some stuff with TikTok where we sent out products to influencers in California and New York City. They shared our products on their TikTok accounts, which led to orders. I mean, nothing massive. I mean, we're not like TikTok famous quite yet. But it was pretty cool. And we ended up having orders that went to France, to Canada, one other country I can't think of. So we've shipped internationally now, which is pretty cool. And we have done a lot of online retail sales through our website. And then we have an online wholesale website that people can reach out if they want information about having our products in their stores. I'd love to do that. Or they can find us at local events. Like next weekend, I think I'll be at the 45th Parallel. And I'm looking forward to a lot of the vendor shows coming up. And there's a lot more in the fall that we tend to do because candles sell better in the cooler months. So.
And I brought this up because before we wrap it up, people need to get this stuff. So, as you said, you had to take over your basement. I mean, I imagine shipping is a part of that. Shipping's very expensive. So to do it like the way you did it, to just do a flat rate shipping, I think that's very smart. And it just makes sense. People will buy more knowing that they're not going to be, raked over the coals for every single thing they got. But the way you ship, so how do you go about that? Like because you're shipping glass, glass. This obviously
it's
can't
heavy.
Be
yeah, it's about a pound.
Heavy.
So. So I keep a lot of the packing materials that I receive my jars and various things in. I reuse as much as I possibly can. I try to be very conscious of that because it is a lot of materials. There are foam packing things that a lot of times our candle jars come in. So I'll reuse those and I'll ship them out. And I have a cute little sticker that goes on there. Like, don't give me a hard time. I'm reusing the box. So if they receive a box from me that happens to be an Amazon box, I'm doing it for a reason. Why would I go and purchase cardboard?
That's a great idea.
Why would I purchase packing peanuts? You would be shocked at how many times I bring like packing peanuts and other packing materials home from the pharmacy. Because and my team knows it. They're like, Andy, this box is good. You want this box? Yeah, I sure do. Yes. So I'll reuse everything I possibly can. I've learned over the last 2.5 years how to better pack things so that it's a little more consolidated, but it's also safe in shipping. And shipping insurance is always a good deal because there's been things that have broke.
Right.
And then I've made good on them. So
Yeah.
And
Amazon is your friend sometimes because my wife is like an Amazon junkie and so is my daughter. So we have plenty of packing materials and
Yes.
boxes.
Yes. Yeah. It's like I know what to save and what needs to go right into the recycling and
I do
all
the
of
same. I do the same thing, Andy. When so because I drive a lot of crappy old cars, I have a open line of credit basically at Rock Auto. So
perfect.
I get a lot of stuff, and a lot of things you order, it comes with really good packing materials because it's
Yeah.
struts and water pumps, and they're heavy duty. So the cardboard and the stuff, it's really well done. So I take it, I actually level it all out and fold it up nice.
Mhm.
And then when I'm shipping my artwork out, now I've got some really good heavy duty packing stuff to do that I didn't pay for. Well, I did, but
You did. But you're
I,
maximizing what you paid for.
it's
Yeah.
recycling, man.
It's smart.
In being cheap doesn't always hurt. So I love the idea of what you're doing. Reusing a box that has something on it, put a sticker on there that says, "Hey, don't shoot the
Yep.
messenger. I'm trying to save
Yep.
you money by reusing this," and it doesn't end up in a landfill. So
Exactly.
recycle it or regift this box to
That's right. Yeah.
we could do a whole show about that. That'd be fun.
Right. So what I like to ask every one of our guests who's an entrepreneur is this. What is the one thing that you would tell somebody who's trying to start a business, entrepreneur business, a solopreneur, or anybody like that? What
Mhm.
is your one piece of advice that you would give everybody?
You literally just have to get out there and do it and get the support of those around you because that makes all the difference. Whether you do it or feel like you're doing it all on your own, you have to get the buy-in of the community, buy-in of the people that you want to be your future customers. Without that, it's like if I didn't have the support of those in my own community, I don't think I would be successful in all of the other communities that we've gone to.
Yeah,
Cool.
starting local that's
Yeah.
an excellent way. Start with the people that that know you and say, "Here, I've got this idea. Let's give it a shot." And get honest feedback about it. This is a
And
great idea.
locally made products are better. Like
Yeah.
I honestly never really realized it or took it to heart until I got into this. But like buying things at your local farmers market, buying a jar of honey
Yeah.
or maple
Yeah.
syrup from somebody that's locally making it. Yeah, it costs a little bit more, but it's
Means
the
a lot.
value is unmatched.
The value to
And
both yourself and to the person that you buy it from. I mean,
yes, yeah,
you that money is staying in the community and not going out to,
mhm,
everybody else who spends their money elsewhere.
yeah.
That's the big thing. So support local free, you just support your local small
Sport
businesses.
small, sport local. It's all the taglines I try to put on social media posts. This support local, support small, um,
Yeah.
and
Boomer,
liking and sharing and doing all the things.
yeah, Boomer Bob's got it right. I'll give my money to an indie before I ever give it to a corporation.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Bob.
Absolutely.
So we've had your site up there kind of scrolling on the bottom. It's woodlandcreekcandles.com. And you'll see it's a bright pink landing page and really easy to navigate site, really put together. Did you guys do this yourselves or is this something else that you?
It's through Shopify.
Okay.
They make things fairly intuitive and easy, but I am constantly tweaking it. So you don't need to know a lot about website design, but you can really get in there and do a lot of tinkering. So yeah, on top of everything else, I'm a web designer too. So
Yeah,
That helps
exactly.
out a lot.
so web design, starting to get more involved in email marketing and like I said, SEO and all these other things that I'd like to learn more about. I'm actually a little shocked at how much of my MBA that I went back for I'm utilizing in this business. I never really thought about it. I was like, I'm just going to do this. It's kind of for fun. Just to kind of I like to constantly learn.
Yeah.
And then when I did that and I came out of it and I'm like, hey, I think I can come up with a successful business model and actually be able to roll it out full on website and everything else. And I mean, so far so good. I don't think I'm going anywhere anytime soon. So probably
Well,
not retiring anytime soon either.
but you've got something that's going and making money and
Mhm.
and you have a capital that you can work with that the company is putting together. You're I'm not gonna say it's a hobby, but it started out that way kind of, and
Yeah,
it's been able to pay for itself and actually develop
it's
into a business.
Yeah,
And
more than a side hustle at this point. I think it's not,
yeah,
Right.
not just a hobby that's a side hustle. It's a full-on business that I would love to see myself step back in pharmacy at some point and do more with this. I think it'll be it'll be one of those things where it finds an even point, and then I finally get to a
There you
point
go.
where I can put more time into this and less time into that.
but
We'll
it's been
see what
it's a good
only
story
2.5
too.
years.
It's 2.5 years, and that can be an eternity, or that can be like a very, very short amount of time for what you've accomplished in those years, for what you've done with you and your daughter, the way you did it, and your family's support too. I mean, the whole family shows up at some of these
Oh, God.
events, and that's just great to see too.
Yeah, my wife and my oldest son Andrew actually ran an event so that Molly and I could take off for vacation in Chicago. We kind of double booked. We were like, "Oh, we want to go to this music festival, but we made an obligation to a vendor show."
Mhm.
And my wife stepped in and said, "We can handle that. We can do that."
Awesome.
And then I'm always a little nervous because I am very controlling with the business. But
Of course.
honestly, they knocked it out of the park. I provided as little support as they kept telling me, we got this, and they honestly did. They did great. So I'm looking forward to when we have opportunities that we might be able to do more than one show on a weekend, and I can go one direction, and maybe my wife and one of my kids can go in another direction. So
Yeah. Well, what you've done is the picture of how to do a home-based business, starting from literally nothing with just an idea and growing it with a small investment into something that is actually has a future and it's growing. So being part of this, we can say that we knew you when. Bruce and I have a good friend, Danny Hudson, that created Tennessee hot sauce. He just liked hot sauce, so he decided, I'm going to make some hot sauce. And he's grown that into a pretty big deal too as well, and did the same way. He's like, I've got like 100 different flavors, I've got to pare this down, man. And it's so he has a quarterly I put our company on the quarterly deal so that we get new or in the not quarterly.
Yeah, I do quarterly.
Yeah, we do it every half year, so every 6 months, whatever that is.
Slacker.
Brain fart. So that's slacker. Yeah, I know I'm a slacker. But so the sauce comes, and he has each one has a special sauce in it, and it's the same kind of thing like you're talking about, how to pare those things down, and you're continually refining it. So we really appreciate you coming on tonight, because this was was fantastic. And am I understanding you right that you must have been lying to me? You said you haven't done one of these before?
I've never done a podcast.
You did fantastic.
Unbelievable.
I appreciate it.
Did better than us. We're 300 deep.
That's good. You guys you're experts, I think. So
well, we really appreciate you being on. And if you want to go to woodlandcreekcandles.com, you can order right there directly. We'll have links in the show notes and all that kind of things for you too. And Andy, if there's any shout outs you want to give to anybody that you were talking about earlier, if you want to just send me the links to their stuff, we'll get those posted up for everybody too that you had mentioned. We like to support everybody. So with that, I really thank you. I'll hand it off to you, Bruce. Since your show.
Well, guys, thank you for being here. And me and Ken will be back next week with either another guest or just me and Ken just bouncing ideas off of each other, because we are entrepreneurs too, and we have our own things going on, and we love to have entrepreneurs on to talk about their wares and all kinds of stuff. So if you're interested in coming on to the weather report, just go ahead and contact us through the links that we provide in the comments or the show notes, and we will send you an invitation to have and vet you out and see if we can have you on. Other than that, I've got nothing else more to say, because it's Sunday night. I'm going to go bougie golfing in the morning, taking a day off. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm sure Ken has a couple of days off. And Andy, thank you much for being here. I really appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week on another edition of the Weather Report. Thanks for coming in.